Howdy folks, I hope you're doing well. So it's been a few days since we've all upgraded our 4K machines, and now that we've had those few days to kick the tires, so to speak, I thought now would be a good time to check in with everybody and see how we're doing. Checking out some of the Facebook groups, I see a lot of people noting issues with the Plunger. More about that in a few minutes. I've also seen some folks are having some intermittent issues with their control panel. I was able to gather some footage of the issue from Mark Petrick over at the officially unofficial AtGames 4K group. Let's head on over to the desk and check out that footage and discuss the next steps that AtGames has sent Mark. So in the first video that we're watching here, we see Mark moving the joystick around and pressing the control panel buttons. As we can see, nothing's working. Mark even takes the extra step of flipping over the control panel to show everything's plugged in. In the second video that we're watching, we see everything's now working. All Mark did was reboot the machine. In this third video, we see Mark has installed the standard control panel that comes with the machine and everything's working fine. As we go back to the first video and loop it here, Mark reports that this issue is intermittent. Sometimes he boots the machine and everything works fine. Other times he boots it and it just doesn't work. Another interesting thing Mark has pointed out is that when he accesses the gamepad tester site via OTG, all the button presses and the joystick movements register. So this leads me to believe that the firmware on the control panel became corrupted in some way when the update occurred, or it's an issue with the update itself. As I noted before, others have reported this issue as well, but unfortunately nobody's posted any footage of it. So when Mark reached out about this issue, I suggested putting in a ticket since the issue started to occur after the 4K was updated. As a former support guy / engineer, and not for AtGames, but for a software company, my suggestion is if you have an issue, always log a case or put in a ticket, however you prefer to say it. The reason for it is simply this: others may be having the issue as well. Look, if AtGames doesn't know about the issue, or there's not enough complaints, so to speak, about it, they're just going to backburner the issue. Or worse yet, not even fix it. Why? Because it's not a call driver. In my experience as that engineer / support guy who was on the front lines dealing with customers day in and day out that were having problems with their software, if you're any good at your job, you're gonna see trends, and those trends are reported up. So if there are multiple incidents for the same issue, they're gonna know it's a bigger problem. The bigger the problem, the faster they work on it. I mean, they did put out the OTG fix in what, 6-7 weeks? For AtGames, that's pretty quick. I know what you're thinking. What about the lag issue? That took them forever to fix. And you're right. But it's not to say they weren't working on it, because ultimately we did get the fix, right? I think it's the fact that they're just shitty communicators and didn't keep us in the loop. If they were open, honest, and transparent about it, yeah, it still would have been a griping point, but maybe we wouldn't have been saber-rattling so much about the problem. Anyway, getting back to Mark's issue here, AtGames asked Mark to factory reset his machine. And he did. Shockingly, it didn't do a damn thing aside from making him basically start from scratch again. At this time, Mark is still waiting to hear back from AtGames as to the next steps. Which brings us to our next issue, the Plunger. Checking out the firmware release notes under known issues, we see that the Plunger is referenced. They state that the sensitivity has a small dead zone and there's some minimal lag affecting visual feedback. So they know there's an issue and they're working on it. As you guys know, I can really be friggin' rough on AtGames, and deservedly so. But they're listening and watching.
There's my wife. Now, see that? Always smiling. Hi, honey. Judging, watching. Look at the baby. Look at the baby.
Or at least some of the people that work for them are. How do I know this? Look at this comment from Carl O. At first glance, he's given us some good advice as to what drivers to use for our NVIDIA cards. But note the last line in his message. We spent a lot of time beta testing this firmware. I'm a guy with less than 350 subscribers. I'm a nobody, and somehow they caught this video. This is good stuff. This means that they're paying attention. It doesn't mean I'm going to take it any easier on them, mind you, but it's good to know that they're out there and they're listening. So now it's time to be a little rough on AtGames. I'm sure you've all seen the calendar by now. Holy shit, is it fucking abysmal. So we're not getting any new games until the 19th. We're getting yet another friggin' sale, and Primal Carnage Retro is dropping on the 27th. Talk about feeling underwhelmed. AtGames, the constant sales and the quarterly nod events need to stop. I don't know if it was P-Dubs, Michael B, or somebody else who said it, and I don't necessarily want to put words in anybody's mouth, but somebody said that the nod events used to be an annual and spectacular event, and they were right. Seriously, AtGames, are these sales really driving the revenue stream that you're looking for? I don't see how it can, since it's the same tired offers again and again and again. I don't know who's advising you to do these constant sales, but you should probably cut them loose instead of getting rid of the good people on your team. Okay, I've said my piece about that and I'm going to stop complaining. For now. Since it's only one unnamed Zen game that's going to be released this month, and since nothing seems to have leaked yet, I'm hoping for one of my favorites, Medieval Madness. It was one of the tables that we were supposed to get after the Star Wars packs were released. But since Black Rose and Party Zone leapfrogged it, it's anybody's guess as to what it's going to be. What do you guys think it's going to be? Please let me know in the comments. Speaking of those comments, which I know I'm a little behind on, I'll be answering them within the next day or so. Things have just been a little busy around here. Before we make like a baby and head out, I do want to apologize for the audio. I know it's still a little wonky, but rest assured a new microphone is on the way and hopefully these issues will be a thing of the past. Well, that's it for this one, folks. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, give me a thumbs down, subscribe, let me know why, and give me another shot. If there's anything you'd like to see me cover, please let me know. If there's anything you'd like me to change or think I could do better again, please let me know. If you hung out to the end, thank you for sticking around. I just want to say I appreciate you, I appreciate your time, and as always, stay safe, be well, and take care.